How are you doing, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Last week we had a video on the best teams to manage the top 5 in the top 5 leagues. In my opinion, in leagues not in the top tier. So we had one in League 1 as Bolton, then like Ligue 2 in France, etc. So this time we're in top divisions, so La Liga, Bundesliga, etc. Now the first one, we're going to get straight into it. First one is Stade Reims, right? Stade de Reims. I might thinking this is extremely random. Last year they came 6th before the league got curtailed. It got finished. They didn't complete it. It says their competition did not complete. So they've got Europa League, right? Okay, they got Europa League. There we go. The media prediction is 13th. That's their rep. And in terms of their playing squad is about 14th in the league. As you can see, PSG dominating, and there's Depay just there. So you're below mid-table, so that's a challenge to start with. You've got Europa League, so you've got a nice little bit of rep. You've also got 10 million in the bank and 4 million transfer budget. Another thing you have is you have 4 pretty decent talents, 18 to 20-year-olds. You've got Nathaniel Mbuku, who is an attacking midfielder, can play right midfield, can play right wing as well. He's very quick. He's like an inside forward on the right, inverted winger. He's more of a winger than a cam, really. You've got Alexis Flips, who's also a right winger. You might want to change him onto the left. He can sort of play there, relearn him that position, no problem. You have Dario Maresic. I think a lot of you guys will know about him. Austrian, centre-back, very good. Can also play DM. Yes, he can. He still can. He's got a good passing range. And he's all in all a pretty good, solid player. And then you have El Bilal Touré from Malia, striker. Very good first touch. Looks like an all-round good player. You can't really go wrong with him. He's 3-star current ability already. So you've got 4 very good. On top of that as well, if you look here, there's some quite young players. You've got Kutesa, who looks like he plays on the wing as well. You've got some good wingers here. It's got a fairly young team, 22, 23, 22, 20, 23, 24, 24. And then there's a few. There's a 32 and a 29, but 25 is not that young. 27 is still not that young for you, theoretically your best player. So I've been looking at them and I'm thinking, do you know what? Solid team to be. Right, the last thing, and this might clinch it for you guys, because I always love a background. I love a background on a team. Now, some of you might not know this, but they used to be a pretty big deal. They used to be one of the best teams in the world, i.e. in the 50s, early 60s. So they got runner-up in the Champions League in 1956 and 1959. So they've never won it, but they've come runner-up. They've also won the top division in France 6 times. Most of them sort of 49 to 62, so it's like 50s, right? They got runner-up as well a few times in that period. 3rd place a few times in that period. There was a big club in the 50s, essentially. And so I thought maybe people might like to bring them back up. It's not a team I often see spoken about, so I'm trying to bring these videos as sort of like the first video, I feel like I might have put some obvious teams in there. So this one, I'm trying to put some less obvious teams in there, right? So yeah, the first one is Stade de Reims, and I'm hoping you guys like that one. And let me know in the comments if you do or if you start one. And so we'll be on to the next team next, guys, yeah? But guys, right, second team is Parma. A lot of you guys might know that Parma used to be a massive team. They had the likes of Gianluigi Buffon playing for them, Fabio Cannavaro, Enrico Chiesa, which is the Juventus now Chiesa's dad. They had Hernan Crespo, Hristo Stoichkov, Lilian Thuram. They had Juan Sebastian Veron and Gianfranco Zola and many others. Their team was ridiculous. Now, they fell on hard times, as I'll show you. They fell on hard times in 2014-15. They got relegated, they got bankrupt, and they got put all the way down in Serie D. As you can see, they've had a rebirth and they've just flown straight up back into the division. And then the first year back in, so 2 years ago they finished 14th, and then last year they came 11th. So they've sort of got themselves back on even keel. So now they're a mid-table team. But you guys need to push them on if you take over them. They've never won the Serie A, which I thought was quite interesting. But they have come runner-up in 1997. So the 93 to 97 was their peak time. They won the European Cup Winners' Cup, which is no longer a thing, but it was a good competition to win back in the day. They've won the Europa League, which was always a big competition back in the day too. The UEFA Super Cup, And then they've just won a few other things like Serie B's. I don't know what this is. Coppa Italia Fanta. Is that their new? Is that their main domestic cup? I've not. Yeah, it is, because I didn't recognise it with the Fanta on the side. Anyway, so right to the team. A bit of history there to the team. They've got some older players. They've got like Kuka. They've got who else? They got where is he? Kurtic. They've got some old but very good central midfielders. They've got Bruno Alves, the Portuguese veteran, very good for mentoring some young players. If you bring some young players in, they've got a big squad, as a lot of Italian squads do. But they've got a lot of good potential as well. Look, they've got Simon Sohm. I think he's an not Austrian. He's Swiss DM. Looks very good. 6'2". Good player to work with there if you look at his attributes. Dennis Mann, a lot of you might know him, Romanian. Good little player. They've learned Xerxes, obviously, in the January, so he's someone that you've got straight away there. Maxime Boussi doesn't look amazing, but with a bit of training and a bit of match practice, he can play all the way down the right-hand side. And you also have Vasilis Zakaritis, who's a left-back who looks very, very good, actually. He's not really got any downsides to him, and he's fast. He's a nice little player. So you've got a bit of everything. If you look at your finances, you've got 12.794 million to be exact in the bank, and you get 8 million to spend, which is quite good. Your team is the 14th best team, or the joint 14th with Genoa in the league in terms of player quality, and in terms of reputation, you are the 15th. So it's a bit of a challenge, as you can see there, all the legends and the icons just down there that used to play for them. So your job is to bring them back up to where they once were and actually win that Serie A title. So that's the team I'm going for in second, and we'll be right back with the third team. Welcome back, guys. A little bit of favouritism here and a bit of bias from me. The people that watch my Twitch stream, the people that know me, they know that Granada's my Spanish team. Obviously, I used to watch Barcelona when Pep was there, and that was amazing. But the team I look out for in Spain is Granada. And I'll tell you the quick reason why and a bit of their history. So it's like intertwined why I like them, or I look for their results and watch them when I can, and why you should manage them. Right. First of all, they're in the Europa League this year. They had a cracking season last year. They came 7th. That's after being promoted. So they got promoted. They came 7th. Now, if you look down further back this way, towards down here, this is where I first got into watching them. I saw that they came through the 4th tier in the playoffs. And there was a guy on the Sports Interactive, the Football Manager forums, that used to like them. And he's an old guy, and rest his soul, I think he's passed now. But I used to speak to him a lot. And he was an English guy living in Granada. And we got talking, and he was like, you should watch some of the games. So he sort of like sorted it out so he could like screen share back in the day some of the games. And I got really hooked on Granada. It's a good story. They just sort of flew up the leagues. And then after that, they got intertwined with Udinese and Watford with the Pozzo family. So like they got loads of players like Odi Nagalo was like transferred through all three. There's some players that were just like coming through all three teams. And they sort of made their way up with that sort of money. And then they sort of like just settled in mid-table in the. They've been there for a while now. They obviously got relegated in 2016-17, which was shocking. That was a bad season. But then they regained again. They re-energized and then went straight back up the season after. And they're doing really well again. It looks sometimes you need to go down to do this, right? Sometimes you get stuck in that. Sometimes you need to do that to wake yourself up. A bit like Newcastle right now, right? I think they need to go down. I feel like Newcastle needs to go down. But anyway, let's get back to where we were. In terms of playing staff, Granada have got some very good players. Most of them are 23 to 27. There's not that many older players. You've got Domingos Duarte, who's very, very good. He's worth 9.75 already. You've got Luis Milla, who is worth 7 million now. He's 25 years old. They're very well-rounded players. Luis Suarez, obviously not the Luis Suarez, £8 million he's worth. And then you've got people on loan from Man City. Yangel Herrera, very good player. If you look at all the players, if you just go and have a look, I'll search from some now. They're very well-rounded. There's not many weaknesses as any of the players. Maxime Gonalons, we all know him from Lyon, right? Very good all-round player. They've not much in terms of potential. And when they have, they're loan players like Nehu and Perez from Atletico Madrid. Domingos Quina from Watford. Like I just said, with I think they've got affiliated clubs with Watford and Udinese with the family. Maybe it's not there anymore. I don't know if that's still a thing. Let me just quickly check that. If we look at... Alright, so the owner's different now. Okay. So, because I've not been sort of concentrating on Granada as much in the last couple of years, which is my fault, to be honest. I'm trying to get back into it this year. I've watched a fair few games this year, but sort of these sort of seasons here, I didn't watch as much, so I'm not 100% sure the goings on. But yeah, they've got a new owner. And they've not got much money. They've got 5 million in the bank. Not much to spend, but I'm sure you can sell some of these players off. And they're in the Europa League to start with, so it's a challenge because you've got to juggle the Europa League, La Liga. They've never won anything, I don't think. They've never won anything. That's me. I'm looking at me there, not the club. They've come runner-up in the Copa del Rey in the 50s. They've won the Smart Bank in the 40s. They've just won nothing. No Copa del Rey, no European trophies, no La Liga. So it's this blank canvas for you guys to just go and get what you need to get, right? And for me, it's a good team to be. So that's the third team, guys. A little bit of bias and favouritism, like I said, from me, but it's a story of a team that's a very small team in history, but they're now amongst the big guys. And last night they beat Molde in the knockout rounds of the Europa League 2-0. So it looks like they're going to be in the quarterfinals. So who knows how far they could go, right? So we're on to the next team, guys, in a minute. Right, guys, back with the fourth team, and I've gone a little bit off script here. So I was looking at the Premier League earlier and thinking, which team can I recommend to you guys that you might not know about? You know everything. You know everything about the Premier League. All the teams have got so much money, and I myself, personally, don't think that the saves are that enjoyable. So I've gone for something a bit different, and it's a team I've been thinking about starting to save with myself. So I thought, if I'm starting to think of starting with this team, you guys might. So we're going to Sparta Rotterdam. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a bit about them. They are in the Eredivisie. They're rivals with Feyenoord, and they used to be massive again. It's another team that used to be big. They're not now. It's the opposite of Granada, I suppose. They won the Eredivisie 6 times, 5 times between 1909 to 1915. So the only times they didn't win it in that period was 1910, 1914. So they won 4 out of 6 titles. They used to be a very big team, like I say. They didn't win anything in Europe, but I have noticed when I've been playing other saved games on FM that these guys produce a lot of good youngsters. I search for there's a lot of Dutch world-class players on my FM saves, and when I go and look at their history, a lot of them have come from Sparta Rotterdam. So I was thinking maybe you guys can get some really good Nugents coming through and dominate with all Dutch team. And as you can see here, the club culture, the board want you to sign Dutch players. So and also avoid relegation, so not much pressure. It's a good little challenge. You've got a fair bit of money in the bank, like 10.5 million is a solid amount, but you haven't got much transfer budget. Now, if you look at the team, they've got Maduka Okoye, a goalkeeper. He can start straight away. He's very good. He's also a 5-star. You've got a 17-year-old Emmanuel Omega, Dutch, striker. Again, 6'5". He's probably not good enough to start with right now, but off the bench, you never know. Centre midfielder from Holland again, 17-year-old, very raw, but 5-star potential. Deroy Duarte, 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential again. Young, a bit raw again, but it's a team that's supposed to finish near the bottom of the league, if you look. It's an old team as well, 1888 it's founded in, but the media prediction's 13th. But I think if you look at their team, it's near the bottom. Apart from Waalwijk, 900 to 1, it's not far away from being the second worst team in the league. So you're not looking at anything crazy, but in terms of who could come through the academy, if you keep upgrading the facilities, you could have some really good players. You've got Heroy as well in central midfield, very good all-rounded player. He could probably play at a higher level. He's come through the academy. Who else we got? We've got Sven Minions, Minens, very all-rounded player. You could play him straight away. They're all Dutch as well, so apart from the goalkeeper, who's Nigerian, you've got a good loanee there from the local rivals, Berger. Let me just quickly check if we've got anything in the B team. Oh, okay, so even more. Aaron Bashir, a winger, 15 finishing. You've got a guy out on loan called Farouk Limuri. Agustin Drakper and Reich Jans. They've just got some good potential about them. They've got some really good potential. Under 19s, they've got some more 5-star players. Rivian Rosario. Again, if you get all these guys on the bench and mentor them and give them some first team football when you can, you never know. You could have some. They could have all players from Sparta Rotterdam. They're just rich in talent, rich in history, but they've got a long way to go because the stadium, as you can see there in the background, is a 10,000 seater stadium. It's a team that's got good basis for you to take them even further. And I think a lot of people could get stuck into this save. So that's my 4th team on the list. And the last team is going to be from Germany. Right, guys, back with the last team. And we are at Stuttgart. So, Stuttgart, as many of you probably know, they got promoted last year from the second Bundesliga. They've been a bit of a yo-yo team. Apart from the 2017-18 season there, they came 7th, but then they got relegated the season afterwards. A bit of a weird one, bit of an anomaly. But yeah, they've been yo-yoing around. They used to be a pretty big team, and they have a well-renowned youth academy. In a minute, I'm going to put up on the screen the players that they used to have, and it's an 11 of players that came through their academy, and some of the names in there, if you don't know about them, are surprising. Now, like I mentioned with Sparta Rotterdam, when I see a lot of good German New Gen players in my save games, when I look at their history tab, a lot of them come from Stuttgart and Schalke, which was my other team I was going to pick. But they've got too much money in the bank. They've got like 80 million. So just a quick FYI, if you wanted to go Schalke, they've got a lot of money in the bank. But for the video, I think we're more of a challenging video. So we're going to go Stuttgart instead. Now, they've got a big stadium. It's a Mercedes-Benz stadium. It's 60,000 seater. And they've got, like I said, excellent training facilities, great youth facilities, good academy coaching, good youth coaching. Now, they rent their stadium for 4.29 million, which in the Bundesliga is nothing if you look to the rules. I mean, if you finish bottom, you get 27 million, right? If you finish, 7th, 55 million. It's just so much money in Germany. So if we go to their team, before I show you their academy graduates, we've got Silas Wamangituka, who is very, very, very highly rated in real life. He's been on fire this year. He's got a few awards, like the Young Player of the Month a few times. Clinton Mola, who used to play for Chelsea. He's an English guy. They bought him last year. And as always, when English people go to Germany, it's a very good career move, and they end up playing a lot of games and improving a lot. Now, it's a bit like a Granada team. They've not got that many young players, young, but they've got 22 to 27-year-old players that are very, very solid for this level. They've got Nicolas Gonzalez, a good Argentinian striker, as you can see, becomes a very good player. Aurel Mangala, again, 22-year-old. He won't set the Bundesliga alight straight away, but he becomes a very good player. Pablo Mafio comes back on loan from Huesca, very good right back. You could just keep going. They've just got really good players. They've got Mavropanos on loan from Arsenal. It's a solid team. I've done a save with Stuttgart. I only did one season and I finished second behind Bayern Munich. With the right additions, they have 75 million in their whole club. See, I didn't know that. That's changed since the update. I didn't have that, so I didn't think that it was that much. So yeah, they have a lot of money in the balance. I don't know where that's come from. I don't think I had that when I was there managing, and I don't think I had 5 million to start with. So they've had a bit of a injection. I don't know where that's come from. But yeah, go mad with that one. So right now I'm going to put on the screen. Where is it? It's just here. Right. There we are. So if you look straight away, you'll notice Timo Werner, Gnabry, Khedira, Kimmich, Rudiger and Leno, right? Mario Gomez. Ridiculous players to come through this academy. Now, they probably shouldn't have lost these players, but the fact that they've come through shows that it's a well-renowned academy. And then you've got players like Taski, who's had a very good career, Toljan, Sebastian Rudy, Didavi, who still plays. Didavi's come back to them now. If you have a quick look at their team, he's come back to them. And you have, who else did we not mention? Oh, we mentioned them all. Okay, so that's them all. It's just a ridiculously good academy. I think that's the only people they mention. I don't think they mention anyone else. Let me just have a quick check. No, they don't. But I think there's more than that, to be honest. But they're the guys. So there's some top World Cup winning, Champions League winning, Bundesliga winning players coming through Stuttgart's academy. So can you guys get anyone through your academy and make them into top players like the aforementioned ones? Now, that's the 5 teams I've chosen for this video. I'm hoping that it's not like other videos and you're thinking, oh, well, this is the team that another person recommended. If you do pick any of these teams and you have a good say with them, please let me know. Come into the live stream, the link's below. Come into the comment section. Please subscribe to the videos, guys. Please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the like button. And until next time, I'll catch you then. Goodbye.